Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The work of a writer. Anything expressed in letters of the alphabet, especially when considered from the point of view of style and effect. The writing in her novels is excellent. The act of creating written works. Writing was a form of therapy for him. The activity of putting something in written form. She did the thinking while he did the writing. Letters are symbols that are written or imprinted on a surface to represent the sounds or words of a language. He turned the paper over so the writing wouldn't show. Usually plural, the collected work of an author. The idea occurs with increasing frequency in Hemingway's writings. The work of a writer. Anything expressed in letters of the alphabet, especially when considered from the point of view of style and effect. That editorial was a fine piece of writing. The work of a writer. Anything expressed in letters of the alphabet, especially when considered from the point of view of style and effect. The act of initiating a new idea or theory or writing. The authorship of the theory is disputed. The act of creating written works. It was a matter of disputed authorship. An essay, especially one written as an assignment. He got an A on his composition. Art and technique of printing with movable type. A musical work that has been created. The composition is written in 4 movements. The spatial property resulting from the arrangement of parts in relation to each other and to the whole. Harmonious composition is essential in a serious work of art. The way in which someone or something is composed. The act of creating written works. Musical creation. A mixture of ingredients. Something that is created by arranging several things to form a unified whole. He envied the composition of their faculty. The act of creating written works. The activity of putting something in written form. Not having or not capable of producing colors. The movie was in black and white. A black and white photograph or slide. Communication by means of written symbols, either printed or handwritten. Communication by means of written symbols, either printed or handwritten. Communication by means of written symbols, either printed or handwritten. Creating something by the use of speech and language. An organic process that takes place in the body. Respiratory activity. The state of being active. His sphere of activity. The trait of being active, moving or acting rapidly and energetically. The level of activity declines with age. A process existing in or produced by nature, rather than by the intent of human beings. Volcanic activity. Any specific behavior. They avoided all recreational activity. Chemistry, the capacity of a substance to take part in a chemical reaction. Catalytic activity. The total output of a writer or artist, or a substantial part of it. He studied the entire Wagnerian oeuvre. Make uniform. Work the clay until it is soft. Perform as expected when applied. This old radio doesn't work anymore. Be employed. Is your husband working again? Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. Mastering a second language requires a lot of work. Have and exert influence or effect. The artist's work influenced the young painter. Make something, usually for a specific function. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. I cannot work a miracle. The occupation for which you are paid. A lot of people are out of work. Cause to work. He is working his servants hard. Find the solution to a problem or question, or understand the meaning of. This unpleasant situation isn't going to work itself out. A product produced or accomplished through the effort or activity or agency of a person or thing. It is not regarded as one of his more memorable works. Have an effect or outcome, often the one desired or expected. The voting process doesn't work as well as people thought. Use or manipulate to one's advantage. She knows how to work the system. Proceed along a path. Work one's way through the crowd. Prepare for crops. Shape, form, or improve a material. Work stone into tools. A place where work is done. He arrived at work early today. Cause to undergo fermentation. The vintner worked the wine in big oak vats. The total output of a writer or artist, or a substantial part of it. Picasso's work can be divided into periods. Give a workout to. My personal trainer works me hard. Go sour or spoil. The wine worked. Activity directed toward making or doing something. She checked several points needing further work. Arrive at a certain condition through repeated motion. The stitches of the hem worked loose after she wore the skirt many times. Behave in a certain way when handled. This dough does not work easily. Cause to operate or function. This pilot works the controls. Exert oneself by doing mental or physical work for a purpose or out of necessity. I will work hard to improve my grades. Gratify and charm, usually in order to influence. The political candidate worked the crowds. Move in an agitated manner. His fingers worked with tension. Move into or onto. Work the raisins into the dough. Operate in a certain place, area, or specialty. She works the nightclubs. Operate in or through. Physics. A manifestation of energy. The transfer of energy from one physical system to another expressed as the product of a force and the distance through which it moves a body in the direction of that force. Work equals force times distance. Proceed towards a goal or along a path or through an activity. Work your way through every problem or task. Provoke or excite. The rock musician worked the crowd of young girls into a frenzy. The total output of a writer or artist, or a substantial part of it. Writing that is venerated for the worship of a deity. A long monotonous harangue. A long piece of writing. An accurately leveled strip of material placed on a wall or floor as guide for the even application of plaster or concrete. A piece of writing in code or cipher. Act of writing in code or cipher. Writing that is venerated for the worship of a deity. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. He always turns first to the business section. A specialized division of a large organization. She got a job in the historical section of the Treasury. The cutting of or into body tissues or organs, especially by a surgeon as part of an operation. Geometry, the area created by a plane cutting through a solid. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The finance section of the company. A small class of students who are part of a larger course but are taught separately. A graduate student taught sections for the professor's lecture course. Divide into segments. One of several parts or pieces that fit with others to constitute a whole object. A section of a fishing rod. A distinct region or subdivision of a territorial or political area or community or group of people. No section of the nation is more ardent than the South. A division of an orchestra containing all instruments of the same class. A land unit equal to 1 square mile. A segment of a citrus fruit. He ate a section of the orange. A small army unit usually having a special function. A small team of policemen working as part of a police platoon. A very thin slice of tissue or mineral or other substance for examination under a microscope. Sections from the left ventricle showed diseased tissue. Putting something, as a literary work or a legislative bill, into acceptable form. The act of putting something in writing. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. A section of a section. A part of a part, i.e., a part of something already divided. A division of some larger or more complex organization. An area composed of subdivided lots. The act of subdividing. Division of something previously divided. A heading that names a statute or legislative bill. May give a brief summary of the matters it deals with. Designate by an identifying term. A legal document signed and sealed and delivered to effect a transfer of property and to show the legal right to possess it. He kept the title to his car in the glove compartment. The status of being a champion. He held the title for 2 years. An identifying appellation signifying status or function, e.g., Mr. or General. The professor didn't like his friends to use his formal title. An established or recognized right. He had no documents confirming his title to his father's estate. An informal right to something. His title to fame. Give a title to. A general or descriptive heading for a section of a written work. The novel had chapter titles. An appellation signifying nobility. Your Majesty is the appropriate title to use in addressing a king. The name of a work of art or literary composition, etc. He looked for books with the word jazz in the title. Usually plural, written material introduced into a movie or TV show to give credits or represent dialogue or explain an action. The titles go by faster than I can read. A reproduction of a written record, e.g. of a legal or school record. Something that has been transcribed. A written record, usually typewritten, of dictated or recorded speech. He read a transcript of the interrogation. A formal exposition. A legally binding command or decision entered on the court record, as if issued by a court or judge. The act of rewriting something. Something that has been written again. A reply by a pope to an inquiry concerning a point of law or morality. Something that has been written again. The rewrite was much better. Rewrite so as to make fit to suit a new or different purpose. Write differently. Alter the writing of. Writing that is venerated for the worship of a deity. Imaginative or creative writing. A written evaluation of a work of literature. The informed analysis and evaluation of literature. Imaginative or creative writing.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.